Hello, everyone. So we have some breaking news that we're going to talk about today, specifically the Georgia Guidestones. Many of you are familiar with, I'm sure. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, they were exploded today. They are officially gone. You can see here in this video, they are totally demolished now. So last night at 4 a.m., somebody, we don't know who as of right now, of course, planted a bomb or something. These are still like breaking details, but somebody planted a bomb and exploded the Georgia Guidestones, and now it's being demolished. At least the rest of it is. There are photos, of course, of right after the explosion, like half of it was destroyed, and now because it was unstable, they just demolished the whole thing. You can see the bulldozers there. So I already got people in the chat saying this is a psyop. So I don't know. Maybe it is, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on. We had the Hadron Collider, LHC, turned on yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right? And I think it was off for a long time, and they just turned it back on. And there's a lot of theories surrounding what the Large Hadron Collider does. In case you don't know, it's the particle accelerator in Geneva, Switzerland, and a lot of people theorize that it really like splits up different timelines. Like, it was turned on from the period from like 2009 to 2013, and a lot of people saw a great awakening during that time. And then it was turned on again, I think, from like 2015 to 2018. And then you saw, the Trump election, and everything just go sort of psychotic crazy in the mainstream Western culture, especially American culture. And that's when the culture war sort of started. And just so many different things happened in 2016, 17 as well. So I don't know. These are all theories, of course. There is no real proof saying that CERN, when it is turned on, weird stuff happens or like direct correlations. But a lot of people notice like Mandela effects and stuff. These theories started popping up about what CERN does, what they do at CERN. And I'm not going to talk too much about CERN right now. We're going to talk more about the Georgia Guidestones. I just think it's interesting how that was turned on yesterday, and then this happens, and now who knows what's going to happen for the rest of this summer and year. It's just getting weirder and weirder, it seems like. What they do at CERN is they accelerate particles at close to the speed of light, and they create like mini black holes, and they try to simulate the exact conditions that were present right after the Big Bang, and they're trying to find proof of dark matter and evidence of like the Higgs boson particle, a lot of weird stuff. And there's a lot of really weird stuff surrounding CERN, especially in 2016 when they were caught apparently doing these weird satanic rituals at their facility there in Geneva, and they released a video with these weird sort of satanic ritual type dances. And these are supposed to be scientists, and just think about how much money they're wasting at risking the entire life of the planet. Like, who knows what they're really going to create? They don't know for sure, doing these types of experiments that are just really kind of dangerous. I think they're playing with fire, but that's just a whole nother story. Let's talk about the Georgia Guidestones. Hello, everyone in the chat. I'll be taking super chats. Thank you, Miss Maskless. I see you there. I can the moderators. You guys are just great, and hopefully the chat stays nice today. Hopefully the chat stays nice. So we got a lot to talk about. It's just funny. It really is. So I don't know. Do you guys think this is a psyop, or is this like? I kind of think it's going to evolve into something that's psyop-y. That's just me. I don't know who came up with the idea to just blow up the Georgia Guidestones. Did they hit the wrong button at CERN? That's what I'm asking. Did they hit the wrong button at CERN? Whoops! We blew up the Georgia Guidestones. We just set off a timeline that ends up, And by the way, the Georgia Guidestones, in case you don't know, so let's talk about the Georgia Guidestones, what they are. You can see the footage here. They're being bulldozed. It's it's an erection of stones uh, in Georgia. They call it the American Stonehenge, and it's a mystery as to who put it up, but it's definitely like an elite project, and it lines up with astrological alignments and stuff as well, sort of like Stonehenge does, and it lists a bunch of goals, 10 specific goals for the world. And it lists these goals in all these different languages, like obviously English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindu, or Hindi, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. And these goals are basically very, very similar or highly allude to the Agenda 2030 goals, the World Economic Forum, Great Reset type of initiative goals, reducing the world population, living in quote-unquote perpetual balance with nature, a balance of personal rights and social duties. Of course, they have these buzzwords in there to make it seem like it's all feel-good type of stuff, but really, if you read these people's writings, people like Prince Philip, these are elite globalist type folks that don't have any allegiance to any particular country or people. They feel they are above their own nations. They're above their people. They see people like us as useless eaters. In many of their own writings and words. We're talking, these are the Henry Kissinger types, the Ted Turner types, the Prince Philip types, the George Soros types, of course, the Klaus Schwab types. They have a real harsh hatred for average people and people in general. Prince Philip actually said, and these are the same types, guys like Prince Philip, a lot of the royalty types, they're all in bed and very, very behind, like the EU and the UN and these globalist groups. He said that he wants to come back as if he were to be reincarnated, he would want to come back as a deadly virus and kill like half of humanity because we're too overpopulated. So this is their mentality. And this was highlighted in the Georgia Guidestones. They were erected in 1980. So there are 10 goals. I'll just read them out here. Again, some of these allude to their depopulation goals, and goals to, quote-unquote, live in harmony with nature, and to get rid of religion and tradition and culture, etc., and to have like a world government and world court. That is the goal. So these are globalist types. These are elites. And the theory is these are the people that erected this as a homage to their goals to just have a new world order, world government where 80% of the population is erased, and we're slowly merged into a sort of prison planet type scenario where your rights are taken away, and they use these fancy buzzwords and fancy excuses to do that, like carbon taxes and climate change initiatives and things like, I don't know. What happened the past 2 years? Let me think. What happened from 2020 till around now, where there was global lockdown and attempted forced immunization of everybody. With the vaccine passports and stuff. Some countries and areas are still trying to do this. It's still going hot in China right now. It's still they just lifted like travel restrictions. For international travel in Australia and Canada and some of these other countries. They're just starting to lift some of this stuff that America luckily lifted really last year in terms of like COVID restrictions, lockdowns, and vaccine passports and stuff. So these are the types of things that they say are the reason we need to merge into a world government and take away everyone's rights, right? But let's look at what they wrote on the Georgia Guidestones as sort of their statement to the world, paying homage to their goals. 1, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Isn't that interesting? Guide reproduction wisely. Yeah, it makes me wonder, really, the writing's on the wall why they're upset about this Roe vs. Wade decision from the Supreme Court, because they're not going to be able to guide reproduction wisely and help lower the population. That's why a lot of these, I guess you could say leftist, globalist types, or whatever you want to call them, these, evil types. This is why a lot of them will fund all of these NGOs and movements and initiatives and Democrats and politicians and political parties that are highly behind Planned Parenthood, highly behind the push to increase abortion and to make it just a normal thing. And they push that in the culture too with their connections in Hollywood. This is all documented. All of these things I'm talking about. So, it's no secret. They want to guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Fitness, really? I don't think they care that much about fitness yet because, again, reducing the population is one of the goals. And to have everyone fit and living a long, healthy life really isn't the goal right now. Maybe eventually, they think maybe in the back of their heads, once we're down to 500 million, a lot of these elitist types, they'll be like, okay, we can now encourage fitness amongst everybody. But right now, it's really funny because what is healthcare about today, right? Healthcare, especially in America, is about putting you on pills, getting you vaccinated, getting you to the abortion clinic. It's not about just eating healthy, staying in shape, going for a run, getting some sun, hanging out with friends, having a healthy social in real life atmosphere, and just all of these things that contribute to you having a long, healthy life. No. It's now about just getting you to Planned Parenthood and getting the abortion, injecting you with all sorts of things that are put forth by the pharmaceutical companies, putting you on pills for life, putting your children on SSRIs and ARRR and all of these things for life. So that's really what fitness is about right now, and diversity, of course. And we talked about on the show I had with Ramsey Paul, by the way. If you guys didn't check that out, I had a live discussion with Ramsey Paul like 5 days ago, I think it was now. It was great. We talk about diversity quite a bit. I don't want to say he's an expert in that, but that's his sort of niche where he talks about diversity and culture and why diversity isn't necessarily always a good thing. But so number 3, unite humanity with a living new language. Yeah, doesn't that sound familiar? Yeah, have you read the book of Genesis? My fellow Christian brothers and sisters know that the Tower of Babel in the book of Genesis, that was one of the characteristics there. It was like a world government, world religion. They tried to build a tower to heaven, and they all spoke one language, I believe, and then it split up, something like that. So Yeah, it seems like that's sort of what they want now. They want a one world government, one world culture, one world language, one world court. They actually list that in these goals here too. Now, you got to remember too, when we're talking about a one world culture and one world language, that means getting rid of all the old cultures and old languages, and that's a huge part of diversity. It doesn't only, this is the big thing, everyone will say oh, you're like a hateful white supremacist if you are somewhat skeptical of diversity, but in reality it hurts other cultures just as much as it hurts other cultures just as much as white people or European heritage, because if you merge everybody into one, it gets rid of the other cultures too, right? So, I mean, just look at some of these people that come to America. They get naturalized and they start to fit in, which is good in some ways, but then they lose touch with their old heritage and culture, and then that goes away. Eventually, everybody's culture and heritage will go away, and will be just this one culture and race where there's no it's really kind of boring and dull, and it's like that image from Brave New World where everybody has a shaved head and they're all in overall jumpsuits and everybody's wearing the same color and they're marching in lockstep and they all have the Mark of the Beast QR code on their heads or something, where everyone's speaking the same language, double speak. There's no real diversity, because the only way to really maintain diversity is to have everybody, be in touch with their heritage and culture, And but I understand assimilation in some cases is important too. But anyway, I digress a bit there. Number 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, in all things with tempered reason. So what that is actually saying is get rid of faith and tradition, right? Rule it with tempered reason. Yeah, it's just double speak for get rid of it. Yeah, you know. 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Yeah, okay, so fair laws and just courts, of course. That's just, feel-good talk, right? Number 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Of course, world court, world government. 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Yeah, it'd be nice if they actually did that, because it just seems like the more time goes on, the more bureaucracy we have. And anyways, a lot of this stuff is lies. It's like feel-good talk and all of that. So number 8, balance personal rights and social duties. Number 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Notice they don't mention God. The infinite. The infinite. Just a nameless, personless, infinite. Number 10, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Wait a minute. We're a cancer on the earth? See, the people who erected these stones definitely have a hatred, or at the very least, a skepticism of humanity. I would say it's a hatred, because when they're comparing us to a cancer on the earth, that's almost like Hitlerian. You know, it's like this internal disgust they have for the masses. They see us as a cancer, need to be eradicated, cut out. Leave room for nature, leave room for nature, they say, and they say that twice. It's pretty revealing, if you ask me. So, yeah, these things were destroyed. You can see here, here's the live footage. This is the CCTV footage of the Georgia Guidestones getting bombed. This was just released. So, there you go. Kaboom, kaboom. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. So, remember that show? Goodbye. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? You think this is a shill operation? Is this a shill operation? Lots of shills in here, the Violet Bunny says. Lots of shills in here. Okay, so let's read some of your chats. Super chats are available too if you want me to read your chats right away. I'll try to read them right away. But we'll sort of pick out some random ones in the chat here because it's fun. All right. So, Christianity is a religion of human sacrifice. Yeah, I've never heard of that one. That's a new one for me, bro. Dead Pirate says, God, not real, bro. Okay. God's not real, bro. Prove it. Yeah, good luck trying to prove it. So, RC says, let me see. RC, that's funny because, by the way, the supposed erector of the Georgia Guidestones is actually technically it's a pseudonym, so we don't know who it is per se, but their pseudonym is R.C. Christian, Robert C. Christian. So it's kind of funny that this person is in the chat. What did you say? I lost your chat, man. Sorry. Raggin Cajun, I love the Guidestones. A very wise man must have put them up, and some psycho tore them down. Some sick person that can't even build a Lego set, but destroy this piece of mathematical architecture. Whoever said there's a lot of shills in the chat, I think you were spot on. Who said that? Because you are spot on, yeah. No, And by the way, Miss Maskless, people that are just disagreeing, you don't have to ban, but unless they're causing real trouble. But you're free to discuss everyone. If you disagree, if you want to, worship Satan and think the Georgia Guidestones are the best thing ever and all this, and we need to eradicate 80% of the population. Fine, that's fine. You want to debate? Let's do it. In fact, I'd love to have somebody like that on and actually debate them about this. So. Greetings from Reno, Nevada. YouTube. Okay, I can't read your name, man. Sorry. Reagan Cajun says, I'm not a shill, boy. I've been following you for a long time. Okay, well, whatever. So, anyways, that was fun. So we'll get back to some more chats, but let's talk a little bit more about this because there's more video here. It's kind of funny. So, these things were destroyed, and this is the street view here. This is the street view. Look at that. Goodbye. I'm not upset. Now, it's really kind of funny. It's kind of crazy that these were set up in alignment, as a matter of fact, with some astrological, features. So let me see here. Astronomic features. On the left side of the tablet is the following column of text. Metric conversion added. Astronomic features channeled through stone indicate celestial pole. So it lines up with the celestial pole. The horizontal slot indicates annual travel of the sun. The sunbeam through the capstone marks noontime throughout the year. Again, the author is R.C. Christian. It's a pseudonym. We don't really know who erected them. A lot of people say it could be Ted Turner. I don't know. But we don't know. And by the way, there's another interesting little fact. There's, I guess, a time capsule hidden underneath the Georgia Guidestones. I wonder if they're going to take that out. I don't know what's in it. So you can see here. Boom, boom. Place 6 feet below this spot to be opened on, I don't know when, but I guess maybe this is part of the ritual, right? They're destroying the Georgia Guidestones. They're going to open this time capsule. I don't know, maybe, but there is some sort of time capsule buried 6 feet underneath the Georgia Guidestones. We don't know what's in it. I don't know what that means. Time capsule. It's sort of vague, right? I don't know what that means exactly. So, what could be in it, though? Are they going to bring that up? Is this part of the plan, or is this some sort of rogue white hat? I love it. It's funny. I was actually watching some BitChute videos the other day. For those of you who haven't been on BitChute lately, it's like 60, 70% shills. It's kind of funny. So there was like this interview, and I listened to the whole thing. It was like a 40-minute interview of these QAnon type people talking about how the white hats now have control of CERN. And of course they present no proof. These are just like guys talking, it's kind of funny. It's like, I have confirmed the white hats. These are like supposed, if you're watching, you don't understand what this means. White hats are basically like, it's funny because I'm actually wearing a white hat, but white hats are supposed, high-level intelligence agency, breakaway civilization, globalist types that have turned away from this New World Order plan to reduce the population and create like a prison planet type scenario, right? And world government. So, supposedly, these are white hats. They're good guys, and they're for the useless eaters, the masses, and they actually love humanity, right? This is the theory. And they are working in collaboration with each other, especially in the military, the U.S. military, to commandeer a lot of the bureaucracies and military units and scientific endeavors and all of these things that the New World Order once controlled, but now the white hats are in control of these things, and now they've taken over CERN, right? So they've taken over the U.S. military. They got that back. They took over. What were they saying before? I remember at one point they were saying they took over the CIA and got that back. They took over the NSA and got that back. Now they've taken over CERN and they've got that back. And they're going to turn on the Hadron Collider, and they're going to do it in a good way, though. They're going to hit the right button this time. Unlike last time where the bad guys hit the bad button on the Hadron Collider, and the good guys are going to hit the good button, and then we're going to go on the good timeline now. So that is, I don't even remember what interview it was. I was actually going to maybe do like a live stream or video about it and just sort of make fun of these guys, but I don't have any views anyway, so why should I mad? Like, a lot of these people do have a lot of views, though. A lot of these QAnon types, and I think it's a total psyop, and I think it's all BS. The white hats are me and you, okay? I'm not going to go on too much of a rant here, but if we're going to talk about the Q stuff, if we're even going to acknowledge that, it's worth saying. Total psyop. I think there are good guys in high levels of government and even in the intelligence agencies and corporate structure and stuff like that. But there is no organized effort at the very top of white hats that have commandeered certain organizations or bureaucracies or technologies. No. There's no organized collaboration effort. This is all a decentralized system of people mostly like me and you that are just fighting the system by informing everybody. And you have to resist in your own life by, putting your money where your mouth is. There's a million ways to resist, really. I mean, I'm not going to go on the tirade there. But buying products from people who actually, are on your side ideologically, not supporting a lot of these draconian systems, and saying no to a lot of the draconian policies that they put in place, especially in some of these blue states that they're doing, and that they did during COVID. Like everybody who said no to the you-know-what on the face, and everybody who said no to the you-know-what in the arm, you are the white hats. We are the white hats. And we're the ones that can take this country back and this world back. So I wouldn't start injecting the hopium into your veins of the QAnon breakaway unit civilization that is secretly commandeering the space technologies to set us free, or whatever the QAnon theory is now. So that's what they're saying about CERN. But this time capsule, man, I don't know. What do you guys think? Now we're about to go in the chat. We're really about to see what everyone thinks right now. Oh, what's up with the time capsule, guys? Tell me. Miss Maskless, yep, Q is a honeypot for sure. No good guys in government, Eric Farmer says. I respectfully disagree. There's some. I mean, you can find especially local government, you can find a good sheriff sometimes and all of that. QAnon is a side. Yeah. Yep, definitely, man. John Doe says, thanks for banning Rag and Cajun. I guess Miss Maskless banned that person. Oh well. Sorry, Rag and Cajun. I've been a follower for a long time. I agree with the Georgia Guidestones. Yeah, I think that's a troll. I don't really think that person, if they've been following me for a long time, Rag and Cajun, there's no way they agree. Nobody agrees with the Georgia Guidestones except for the 6,000 breakaway civilization elitists that are trying to take away your freedoms, right? Norman Koch says, if there actually is a time capsule, considering the mass depopulation the creators wanted, I'd have it opened in a secure environment. For sure, yeah. What if there's antimatter in there? Something crazy, right? That'd be weird. Jonathan Kiner says, are you going to talk about this latest FF? I'm not going to actually say the two words there. YouTube algorithm. I kind of already did a little bit. I think I know what you're alluding to. If you're talking about the shooting in Highland Park. Is it Highland Park? then yeah, I kind of already talked about it. Again, you can't really talk about it that much here on YouTube at risk of getting banned and stuff. So, my approach to those types of things at this point, if that's what you're alluding to, is to just attack it from the point of, what can we say to convince people to not pass legislation that takes away our freedoms, regardless of what the event was. That's my approach to it. Other people might have different approaches and different strengths on how they reveal what really happened in some of these events, and use that or show people that in hopes to, pursue them to not want to take away our freedoms, and that's fine. But I think my position on it is to just be like, look, doesn't really matter what happened from my perspective. Let's just talk about how you shouldn't take the guns, right? Because, there's a million reasons that I talk about in that video, whatever, in multiple videos. Matthew Blevin says, no, check out Dabu777. He tells about the blood capsule on the top. The blood capsule on the top, that's an interesting one. Time capsule is just a sealed container with stuff inside, says RC. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So let's read some of the later chats here. Okay. Rag and Cajun's back. All right. Whatever. Okay. I'm gonna get off the chat for a second. We'll get off the chat for a second. We'll go back. We'll go back. I promise. So let's read what the New York Post has to say about this. Here we go. Satanic Georgia Guidestones partially destroyed in early morning bombing. New York Post is calling it satanic. I guess the mainstream media has confirmed it, guys. I don't even know if guys like me were ever calling this satanic. I think it was created by Satanists, but I wouldn't say it's like I guess it is kind of actually satanic. It's sort of pagan. It's sort of a homage to the Georgia Guidestones in many ways. Stonehenge. That's what I meant. And they go on to say here, a Georgia monument that is referred to as the American Stonehenge and believed by some to be satanic was partially destroyed in a bombing attack Wednesday, officials said. The explosive device went off around 4 a.m. near the Georgia Guidestones, a site about 7 miles north of Elberton, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation said. Elbert County Sheriff's Office personnel responded to the scene to discover a large portion of the monument was obliterated. Photos show that the 4 stone panels of the 42-year-old monument had been blown off. Neighbors reportedly heard the explosion, WSB-TV said. The 19-foot-high Georgia Guidestones were erected in 1980 and have been a mystery ever since, and it was commissioned by an unknown person or group under the name RC Christian. So it's really kind of interesting. I've never been to the Georgia Guidestones, but they're 19 feet high. So I remember when I first found out about the Georgia Guidestones, I didn't realize how gigantic they were. 19 feet's pretty tall, and there's been instances in the past as well where people vandalize them. And there were things spray painted all over the Georgia Guidestones, like F the NWO and all of this. But yeah, they're gone now. It's kind of like a historic moment. This is either a psyop or a big FU to the New World Order. I also find it pretty interesting that right now in the Netherlands, there's massive, crazy protests, the farmers' protests, which we'll talk about in a minute, which are protesting a lot of these globalist policies that the Georgia Guidestones is alluding to in their goals, right? Some of these climate change type of initiatives and reducing the population and all of these things that are pretty much alluded to on the Georgia Guidestones and their 10 goals, they're being protested to a magnificent degree right now in the Netherlands, and that is a huge story, because now it's turning out that a lot of these farmers are blocking supermarkets and roads and all of this, and hopefully they end up being successful. I don't know. We'll see, but we'll talk about that in a second. The structure, which is a historical monument, displays a 10-part message espousing the conversion of mankind and future generations in 8 modern languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian, and 4 ancient languages. I didn't even know this, actually. 4 ancient languages: Babylonian, Classical Greek, Sanskrit, and Ancient Egyptian. I wonder why they're listing it in those ancient languages. They're sort of like these pagan type languages. So I do actually think that these are satanic. The Guidestones also serve as an astronomical calendar. The Guidestones, which also call for keeping world population at 500 million or below, have been heavily scrutinized by conspiracy theorists. Former Georgia gubernatorial Republican candidate Candace Taylor claimed that the Guidestones are satanic and made demolishing them part of her platform. I didn't realize that. That's pretty based. Who is she? If she's running, I endorse. Maybe it was her, right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course, they'll probably try to I don't know. Is she still running? I'm not really sure. I'm not familiar with her as a candidate in Georgia. But if she is still running, I'm sure the media, local media in Georgia, will blame her for this. Or people like her and her supporters and followers. Of course, that's why I'm very skeptical of this whole situation. I feel like this could be the beginning of a long line of these types of attacks that could be, let's just say, engineered and not authentic, right? Not grassroots attacks. I'm just skeptical. I don't know. This is all my intuition pouring out of me, right? So, I see this whenever I see a bombing of even obviously nobody was killed. I don't think the person who ever did it intended to hurt anyone. Thank God. But still, vandalism is still. I do not endorse that, and I obviously am against that because destruction of property is still a crime, and it still kind of makes us look bad. But at the same time. You could see the media, especially in local Georgia, have a field day with this. And then if you start seeing other acts of vandalism or destruction toward symbolic, structures or buildings or declarations across the United States, like, for instance, if somebody bombed the mural, God forbid. I definitely do not endorse that. I'm totally against it. But if somebody did something at the Denver airport or something, and spray painted or, God forbid, bombed that mural that shows like the end times. There's a lot of weird stuff at the Denver airport. It's not just the mural. It could be other things too that people possibly could vandalize or attack or whatever. If you start seeing more of these and they start connecting them to like a group like Patriot Front or something. I don't know if you know what Patriot Front is, but it's like these feds that march around random cities masked up. You can't see who any of them are, and they all just look like feds, and they're all matching. They look like they're like goose-stepping like Nazis or something, and they'll do marches like in Boston or Atlanta or something like that. Like they do it everywhere. I know there was one in Boston that they had a march recently, like 2 weeks ago. And this just screams Fed operation, future false flag, right? And I've talked about Patriot Front. So, I don't know. Just where, do you really think this is authentic? Like, the more I think about it, like, somebody bombed the Georgia Guidestones. Like, this is serious. Like, this isn't a joke, you know? Like, this doesn't seem... I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem a characteristic of something grassroots that, like, a conspiracy theorist or an anti-New World Order type would do. It just doesn't. I don't know. That's just where my gut is leading me. Of course, like, I don't know who did it. I have no clue. But I'm just saying, it's just something that just doesn't seem right. Quote, over the years, the Guidestones have created lots of discussion and brought visitors to Elbert County from all over the world. The Elbert Chamber of Commerce wrote on Facebook, whatever your personal opinion is on the Guidestones, this attack is bad for our community. We hope that whoever is responsible is apprehended and brought to justice. The monument has previously been attacked by vandals. Elbert County Sheriff's deputies, Elberton Police, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigations are all investigating the latest attack. Yeah, so I'm very skeptical of all of it. But, you know, then again, after the lockdown crisis, it wasn't a COVID crisis, it was a lockdown crisis. That's what it was. After the 2-year lockdown crisis that we've had, so many lives were destroyed. I guess it is somewhat reasonable to assume somebody was pissed off enough to do this. Just think about how many people's lives have been destroyed by fentanyl, by the economy right now, by the lockdown crisis we had, by the social peer pressure of the virtue signaling woke cult that is going around cancel culturing and socially shaming anybody who doesn't adhere to cultural Marxism and, you know, hating themselves if they're white Christian. So it does kind of make sense that people have a lot of anger built up. So maybe it was grassroots. I don't know. But it just seems, I don't know. Just something about it, man. You know? Anyways. Checking out the chat. Caron Chupel says, totally perpetrated, part of a deception. Possibly. Right. Yeah, I think as more information comes out, and as we see more and more of what this will yield, we'll know what the situation is, right? We'll be able to better determine, because I am the type that I do follow my gut in certain things, but I do need a little more proof to say for sure whether or not to say for sure what I believe on this. I'm just, following my gut on it for now. But we do have somebody sent me this because we were talking about CERN earlier, and I just thought this is funny. It is kind of funny how they turned on CERN yesterday, and then this happens. The Georgia Guidestones are destroyed. Yeah. If you're watching, you haven't been watching since 20 minutes ago when I started, or 45 minutes ago, they're completely destroyed. The Georgia Guidestones, they had to demolish the rest of it, so it's not just half of it that exploded. They had to take a bulldozer and destroy the whole thing now, so it's completely gone. But now, since CERN was turned on yesterday, it looks like this is what you get at the grocery store, right? You get the Pepsi potato chips and the Lay Fritos, Red Bull drink. Yeah, the Mandela effect just kind of screwed everything up. July 6th, the next day after the LHC's turned on, Georgia Guidestones blow up, and you have Pepsi potato chips. Of course, this is a joke, but it's still funny. So we'll talk about the Large Hadron Collider in a second. Here's another one that's pretty funny. Look at this. So I have to talk about this really quick. Have you all heard of Tiara Mack? If you haven't, you might have to Google her really quick. She's a state senator in Rhode Island, and she recently posted like a campaign video of her twerking while doing a headstand in an attempt to promote her campaign. She is a sitting state senator, okay? And so I interviewed Nicole Solis like 3 weeks ago now, a Rhode Island mom, and we talked about Tiara Mack and how degenerate and awful she is. Some of the things that she has been promoting and trying to pass and introducing in the state of Rhode Island. One of them is to teach children pleasure-based sexual education, which I mean, what is that? I mean, not just like, reproduction, the anatomy, pleasure-based sexual education to children in schools, public schools in Rhode Island. So this is what you're talking about. And this is her twerking right next to the Georgia Guidestones, of course. That's... Okay, that is actually the real video of her twerking is on the beach, but I just think it's funny they made a meme about this, because this person is just it really encapsulates I just think it's so fun. It's out of control, man. It's out of control. So, anyways, let's talk about the Hadron Collider for a second because this is, just think about how much of a waste of money this is. A bunch of like satanic nerds trying to figure out how to create black holes and what try to prove dark matter exists. Like for what? Like, and it's so risky what they're doing. It's like, dude, we're just gonna create the conditions of the Big Bang, which probably isn't even real. The Big Bang, give me a break. So probably bullshit. But they're I mean, it just seems like a dangerous idea, but they're doing it, and they just turned it on. So here we go. I hope you're ready to buy some Pepsi potato chips soon because the Mandela effect is about to go in full force. The Large Hadron Collider has been turned on today, July 5th. That's yesterday, and is set to smash particles together at never-before-seen energy levels. That's the other thing. It was turned on yesterday, and it's smashing these particles together now at never-before-seen energy levels. So it's at the highest and most intense ever. Yeah. Again, like the last time this was turned on, the two last times it was turned on was like from 2009 to 2013. You saw the 2012 Great Awakening of like this consciousness revolution that I was a part of as well. There was a lot of deception in that too, though. But then you saw what was the result of that: the 2008 crash and Occupy Wall Street. And so then it was turned off for a few years and turned back on in 2015 until 2018 or 19. And then you had the election of Trump and a lot of craziness. Of course, the censorship clamped down here on the internet too. The culture war really started heating up around that time, and now look at us. They're turning it back on now in 2022. What's next? I don't know. Probably a collapse of the economy, and we're all probably going to, the third world, unfortunately, God forbid, but it looks like you probably will starve. Supply chain shortages just worsen dramatically. You will not, $20 a gallon for gas is what I'm guessing by, the end of next year or something. This is the type of situation I think the Large Hadron Collider will produce now, unless the white hats are right, and Trump is going to come riding on a golden horse from the clouds and save us all. Or no, the QAnon types are right, I should say. The white hats are saving everybody. They've commandeered CERN, guys, and they're hitting the right button this time. They're not hitting the bad button; they're hitting the good button. Anyways, I am going on a rant here. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator located at CERN near Geneva, Switzerland. They're nearly 17-mile long. Oh, isn't that kind of interesting? The QAnon types will always use that word 17 because Q is the 17th letter in the alphabet, right? And it is 17 miles long. Look at that. It must be Q, guys. It must be Q. Q's commandeer it. The 17-mile long loop was fired up today after spending 4 years offline for upgrades. With these fixes completed, scientists want to use the gigantic accelerator to smash protons together at record-breaking energies of up to 13.6 trillion electron volts at energy levels that should up the odds of the accelerator producing particles not yet observed by science. Oh, great. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. The upgrades to the accelerator particle beams have done more than spike their energy range. An increase of level of compactness, making the beams denser with particles, will increase the probability of a collision so much that the accelerator So much that the accelerator is expected to capture more particle interactions in its third run than it did in its previous 2 combined. Oh, wonderful. So more splitting of the timelines, right? I'm half joking, of course. This might just produce nothing. This might just be a coincidence. I don't know. I'm a pretty rational guy at the same time, even though I'm deeply spiritual. I see this and it's like, well, maybe, Mandela effect times 3, maybe. During the 2 previous stints from 2009 to 2013 and 2015 to 2018, the atom smasher shored up physicists' understanding of how the basic building blocks of matter interact, called the Standard Model, and led to the discovery of the long-predicted Higgs boson, the elusive particle which gives all matter its mass. And the Higgs boson particle, the scientists, these blasphemous heathens will call it the God particle. Yeah, it's probably just it's literally just a particle, like, big deal. The God particle. Yeah, right. Okay. But in spite of the accelerator's experiments, which produced 3,000 scientific papers on many minor discoveries and tantalizing hints of deeper physics, scientists have yet to find conclusive evidence of new particles or brand new physics. After this upgrade, they're hoping that will change. Quote, we will measure the strengths of the Higgs boson interactions and with matter and force particles to unprecedented precision, and we will further our searches for Higgs boson decays to dark matter particles, as well as searches for additional Higgs bosons. So they're talking about dark matter now. Which, from what I understand, I'm not a scientist, but dark matter, they've never even seen it. They don't know it exists. It's something they made up to make their equations work. So this is what we're talking about here. A lot of this stuff that they tell you is for certain and scientifically proven is really just theory. Imagine being so brazen and self-aggrandizing that you can say for certain what happened 13 billion years ago, and your whole theory is that everything just came from nothing. What? It doesn't even make any sense to me, and to me it doesn't make any sense. It's like, everything you see in front of you right now, and the guy talking to you here on the screen, and everything you've ever known, and everything you've ever experienced, all came from a booger that exploded in space 13 billion years ago. That's their theory. That is their raison d'etre. That's like their that's their origin story for their religion, right? And so they say they're so certain of it, like nobody was there for any of this, right? And that's what I hate about scientists. They're so brazen. They think they know everything. And to even it's preposterous to even say that for sure. I mean, you could talk about it and have your little nerd discussions about maybe it could kind of make sense. Maybe, this kind of happened, whatever. But no, a lot of these people are very, very staunch in their beliefs of something that, I mean, I don't even see what the point of talking about something that could have happened 13 billion years ago, or even like 10,000 years ago, or even like 1,000 years ago, really, because you weren't there. Like, nobody was there. Like, for all of this that they talk about, none of it was recorded. Nobody was there for it. And they just think they know it. It's just unbelievable. They think they're God. Anyways. All right. We're going to keep reading the article, but I'm going to see what's going on in the chat. Miss Maskless, how's everything going in here, huh? I might have to put Faith Fuego. Maybe get a little help in the chat there. I don't know. Is everything okay over there? How's everything going? You just don't know, because we're talking about some controversial topics here. Make sure there's no shills. I have to ban the shills. Send them straight to Saturn. All right. Yeah, a lot of cool people in the chat. Look, it looks like everything's going. Oh, I have a super chat. I do. What? Where's my? Oh, wait a minute. How come I can't see my super chats? All right, let me pull up my my other window here and see if I can see them, because I do want to see if I have super chats, obviously. Miss Maskla said check your super chat. So I'm going to do that. We'll keep reading the article in a second here, but hold on. I don't see him. I don't know. Did they disappear on me? Maybe they disappeared on me. Hold on. Sometimes they'll disappear. Oh, so annoying. Oh, wait. I see it. Here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. We're pulling up the super chat and we'll get back to the article. So, N-Buttle1 said, $4.99. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Used to live there. A really weird vibe at that place. Took visitors there a lot. And one visit, a lady in a group came to me and told me my birthday. Huh. Interesting. That's crazy. So, and Bottle 1 here says that basically some sort of, I guess, clairvoyant woman walked up to him at the Georgia Guidestones and told him his birthday just straight out. That is impressive. And that, that doesn't surprise me, though. A lot of these people, but, a lot of Christians that are in touch with the Holy Spirit can have similar revelations as well. But, the works of, the devil as well can work in a way where, a lot of psychics can receive information, sometimes truth mixed with, lies, and it can be told to you. So you have to be careful, right? But that's a pretty interesting story. Yeah, I have weird stories like that too, where people or situations just come about in a certain way that it's just undeniable that there's some sort of spiritual element at work, right? There's some sort of metaphysical element at work. And, using your intuition and I would say your discernment to determine whether that's something coming from a place of goodness and God or evil and just like negative forces is sort of all within your discernment and how you're living your life. If you're living a spiritually healthy life and a mentally clear life and a physically healthy life as well, then you'll be able to discern very, very accurately. So that's what I'll say about that. That's an interesting story. All right, so we got more super chats here. Coco Buff 67 says noob. I don't know. It's just a. Oh wait, does that say noob? Yeah, noob. It's like a GIF. I don't really know what. Okay, noob. Okay, cool. I don't know. Thanks for the super chat though, Coco Buff 67. I appreciate it. Miss Maskless for $5 as well. Thank you so much, Miss Maskless, as always. I think the Guidestones came down to. I think the Guidestones came down due to regular office fires. Right in the basement, regular office fires. Yeah, that's what it was. It just heated up the steel so hot in the basement that they collapsed at free fall speed within their own footprint. That I think is what happened. That's actually a really, really sound theory, Miss Maskless. That must be it. Maybe we can have like a commission confirm that and have all the people who built the Georgia Guidestones and maybe the people who blew up the Georgia Guidestones come to that conclusion as well, for us. It collapsed in its own footprint. Yeah, so thanks so much, guys, for the super chats. I'll go back to the chat in a second. All right. So, yeah, the Higgs boson. They're trying to find the Higgs boson. Here we go. All right. Moving on to the article here. The Higgs boson dark matter particles. Yes. Okay. Inside the LHC's 17-mile-long underground ring, protons zip around at near light speed before slamming into each other. The result? New and sometimes exotic particles are formed. the faster those protons go, the more energy they have. And the more energy they have, the more massive the particles can produce by smashing together. Atom smashers like the LHC detect possible new particles by looking for telltale decay products, as the heavier particles are generally short-lived and immediately break down into lighter particles, et cetera, et cetera. And here's the other thing. Like, you got to realize billions and billions and billions of taxpayer dollars mostly go into these types of LHC, Hadron Collider, particle accelerator experiments. And what do they really yield for people? Like, what sort of new technologies that are coming about as a result of this that are benefiting our lives? Probably none. These are just like satanically possessed nerds trying to play God, really. Like, what does this really yield? What's the point of all this? That's my question. And I actually think the point of all this, like what they tell us here in like these articles from Live Science or Live Science, whatever, this is all just the PR public, official story of what they're doing with these things, right? These large Hadron Colliders, especially the Large Hadron Collider here, the big one. I think there's a totally different goal in mind. There's a totally different reason why they're using this. I don't know what it is. I mean, could it be something weird? Something weird that's causing like different timelines, maybe. But like, I even think, and we'll talk maybe a little bit about the ritual that was caught on camera at CERN. In 2016, it was like a weird satanic ritual. It looked like almost like a Bohemian Grove set, something out of Eyes Wide Shut or something. And it was supposedly filmed from like a window. I remember covering it at the time, talking about it. And I think that was probably released on purpose too. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of, you gotta understand, like, they could have even done that just to promote CERN and to like get more funding, or they could have done it to just detract people and send them down a rabbit hole that isn't real. I don't know. I really don't know. Or it could just be legit. Like some guy from the window filmed the satanic ritual at CERN, and now it's like, I don't know, man. What's going on here? Like, what is this really about? And then they tell us, we're putting billions of dollars into this to find a particle in dark matter that we don't even know if it exists. Okay, yeah, that seems like a stretch too. The whole thing is just shady. Moving on to the article here, one of the LHC's goals is to further scrutinize the Standard Model, the mathematical framework physicists use to describe all of the known fundamental particles in the universe and the forces through which they interact. Though the model has been around in its final form since the mid-1970s, physicists are far from satisfied with it and are constantly looking for new ways to test it, and if they're lucky, discover new physics that will make it fail. Wait, that doesn't make it... So if they're lucky, they'll discover new physics that will make it fail? Why would that make you lucky? I don't know. Well, none of it makes sense. This is because the model, despite being the most comprehensive and accurate one so far, has enormous gaps. Oh, okay. Well, now it makes sense. Making it totally incapable of explaining where the force of gravity comes from. Yeah, gravity. Yeah. Nobody, I love to this day, like, we're supposed to be so sophisticated and scientific. Nobody even knows what gravity is. It's still just like a phantom thing they just made up. Gravity, I mean, the whole thing just doesn't make sense. Literally, they can't figure out what gravity is. I mean, they know what happened 13 billion years ago when everything you've ever known, ever possible in the universe, came from existence when a tiny booger exploded out of nothing. But we don't know what gravity is, really. How about just up is up, down is down, okay? Gravity. What dark matter is made of, or why there is so much more matter than antimatter in the universe. Yeah, these are supposed to be the smartest people in the world. They don't know what gravity is. I mean, While physicists want to use the upgraded accelerator to probe the rules of the standard model and learn more about the Higgs boson, upgrades to the LHC's 4 main detectors also leave it well positioned to search for physics beyond what is already known. The LHC's main detectors, Atlas and CMS, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about any of these things. Here we go. Meanwhile, the Atlas detector will be put to work studying collisions of high-energy ions, of which there will be about 50-fold increase in those recorded compared to prior runs. 50-fold increase. I guess there's 50 times more energy now in this run compared to the previous ones. I guess 50 times more Mandela effects. Get ready to buy your Pepsi potato chips, folks. Yeah. Pretty soon, like the person who starred in Liar Liar won't be, what's his name, Jim Carrey anymore. It'll be like Tom Cruise, you know, the Pats didn't win the Super Bowl in 2001. It was the Broncos or whatever. I think it was 2001. What was it, 2002? I don't know when they first won. Tom Brady. It's not Tom Brady, okay? It's Tim Breary. That was the best quarterback ever. Right? All of these things. Atomic nuclei given electrical charge by the removal of electrons from their orbital shells. Yeah, man, this sounds like an awesome time. Produce a primordial subatomic soup called quark gluon plasma, a state of matter which only existed during the first microsecond after the Big Bang. Oh, yeah. I love how, look at this. They capitalize Big Bang like it's God. In this article, the Big Bang is capitalized. B and B. What a bunch of nihilistic nerds. Okay? For the record, I am and I know there's going to be a lot of people who hate me for this and who probably will unsubscribe as soon as I say this, but I am not for secularism. I'm for reason and logic, but I think secularism is actually a bad thing. I think we need more religion in government. I think we need less government, but the little government we do have, it needs to be run by a system of morals that are governed by God and religion, literally. Like I am for more theocracy. Just for the record, and by the way, and I've talked about this before, because this is a revelation I've had, like, this recent year. There's no such thing as and I'm for small government, just to be clear. I'm borderline almost anarchist, but I think small local government, I'm for getting rid of a lot of government, whatever. But the government that should exist and the laws that should exist should be based on morals that come from a higher power, that come from like a religious context, obviously Christianity, the only true religion. And the thing is, all laws and morals, all laws and government is based on morals, which come from religion. So there's no such thing as a government or a society or a system of laws that isn't religious, that isn't theocratic. The question is, do you want to base those theocratic morals that are translated into laws on oblivion, on the Big Bang, capitalized, on pleasure, and trying to create the Tower of Babel here on Earth? Or do you want to base it on Christ? A system of morals, or at least a higher force, God, Christ, same thing. So that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's a bit of a tangent, but they capitalize the Big Bang. This is what we're talking about here. These are people that worship oblivion, right? They worship a singularity of nothingness, literally. They capitalize Big Bang like Christians capitalize God. It's just crazy. In addition to these research efforts, and that's an important point, by the way, because it alludes to this idea that the Big Bang is something greater, anyways, like it has a personality or something. Yeah, I gotta capitalize the Big Bang. It's just so cringe. It's cringe. In In addition to these research efforts, a slew of smaller groups will probe at the roots of other physics mysteries with experiments that will study the insides of protons, probe the behavior of cosmic rays, and search for the long-theorized magnetic monopole. The long-theorized... I don't even know what that is. The magnetic monopole. What is that? Is that the Iron Mountain at the center of the flat Earth that has a giant magnetic thing on the summit? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not a flat earther. But yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know what that is. I don't know, somebody tell me what that is? A magnetic monopole? Is that like a magnetic center in the Earth or something? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think what that could be. A hypothetical particle that is an isolated oh, it's telling me. Okay, yeah. Why don't you just read? Why don't you just keep reading there, press? Yeah, that would help. A hypothetical particle that is an isolated magnet with only one magnetic pole. Okay, well there you go. There's your answer, right? All you had to do was keep reading, idiot. Added to these are two new experiments called Phaser Forward Search Experiment and SND Scattering and Neutrino Detector that were made possible by the installation of two new detectors during the accelerator's recent shutdown, paid for by your tax dollars. For the most part, I would say, right? Phaser will scan for extremely light and weakly interacting particles such as neutrinos and dark matter, and SND will exclusively search for neutrinos, ghostly particles, which can travel through most matter without interacting with it. So now we have people that can walk through walls, or particles that can go through matter. Okay, yeah. And I thought I was the theocrat. So let's see here. I do want to look up this, okay. Let's see if we got super chaps. I don't want to, not read your super chats if we have any. A blue jacket, Faith Fuego. A blue jacket. Is that a moderator? Because I'll make you a moderator right now. You're now a moderator. Just so you know, I just did it right now. So I think that's what you meant. A blue jacket. Let me see here. Nope, no super chats. I don't think that I can see. But all right. So I do want to look up the LHC ritual here and show you. I didn't have it pulled up for this video because I didn't think we're going to go. It is kind of interesting that, these are blown up the day after. I just, here we go. Mock human sacrifice at CERN. Pull this up here. This is out of The Guardian, just in case you were wondering. Yeah, that's right. Your mainstream media, certified, Guardian. Go, go, go. All right. So, let's check this out. So this is out of The Guardian again. Mock human sacrifice at CERN. This is from 2016. A fake ritual killing filmed in a courtyard at CERN, the Geneva Particle Physics Research Complex, has prompted an investigation. A spokeswoman suggested users of the facility had let their humor go too far and warned of the potential for misunderstandings about the scientific nature of our research. Right. So this is what, by the way, is very similar to Bohemian Grove. There was this film, Alex Jones filmed it, of a mock human sacrifice at Bohemian Grove. But similar to Bohemian Grove, when you see a mock human sacrifice, that is a satanic ritual just as much as a real human sacrifice is. Obviously, if it was a real human sacrifice, it just wouldn't be released, right? So the mock human sacrifice, though, they'll tell you it's a joke, of course, but at the same time, That's these are just them covering their ass because this video was leaked. Supposedly they didn't mean for it to leak. So let's check out the video here. So this is supposedly filmed from like the window at the facility, and in the middle of the night, they're all dressed in their cloaks, and they're doing like a mock human sacrifice. I don't hear them laughing. I don't see how anybody would do this as a joke. It seems like to me there's some deep spiritual force at work here. Now, again, like the only question is like, why was this released, right? This is supposedly somebody released it because they filmed it from the window. I am a little bit skeptical of, why it was released, but this is in 2016. So, and then there's another video that CERN put out, and I don't feel like researching it, looking for it right now, but there was one that, maybe we'll try to find it. It was like a public PR video they put out showing all of these. It was like a CERN, what was it? It was like their employees like doing these weird Vedic dances and stuff. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of you that's been following the channel for a while. CERN, was it like a music video? I remember talking about it, but it was a long time ago. It was like 5-6 years ago. This might be it. 2015. Is this it? No. See, this would be. Okay, cringe. This might be a little hard to find. That's why. We are happy at CERN. Is this it? This could be it. Let me see here. Sorry. Yeah. It's hard to find. It's definitely out there. It's like a music video. Maybe one of y'all in the chat remember like the title of it. Jeffrey Long says CERN, the world's biggest media spin generator, right? It really is. FHI Low says imagination is more important than knowledge. Einstein. In some ways, I agree. I mean, you can only know so much, but to really create something new, you have to be able to imagine for sure. Trent Rowe says innovation requires both. Definitely. Rudd, I can't. I've seen you in the chat, man, but I can't read your name. Rudd Haven says I used to deliver the newspapers late night at BHG. Not kidding. What's BHG? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Coco Buff 67 says my thoughts of that CERN ceremony was that it was supposed to symbolize the end of humanity, or end of what is it? Or end of God's creation. Possibly. Yeah, I mean, they really do hate God. They really do. It seems to me. They really do hate this idea of a creator. They think they're God. Notable Zero with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. That is very, very generous of you. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. I need this during the day while I'm working. Yeah. Thank you, man. Is it day where you are? I need this during the day while I'm working. If not, well, you can always listen to it the next day too. But thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Evelyn said, nope, wrong one. Conspiracy, Occult, Illuminati, and New World Order and Media Review says, remember that elaborate tunnel opening ritual from around the same time? Yeah, that's the one I think I'm thinking of. The tunnel opening ritual. Yeah. That is the one I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure. Where they do all, I remember talking about, again, this is all such a long time ago. This is like 7 years ago. If you could maybe find that and drop a link, we'll in the description, or I'm sorry, in the chat, we can go over it. But or send it to me on Twitter. But I don't have that much time left here. But yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of, where they did something similar. It wasn't like a mock sacrifice or anything, but it was like a weird Vedic sort of occult dance, and there was strange symbolism. And by the way, CERN, I forgot, I can't believe I didn't mention this. Their symbol, like on their website, is 666. It's right there. It's like clear as day. It's literally right there, clear as day. So if you look up CERN, (666) right here. So I don't know if you can see that. Does it show? Yeah, you can see it in the corner there. I'm trying to zoom in a little more. Yeah, so it's like 3 6s that are all sort of colliding into each other in a circle. It's 666, and I'm pretty sure they've even admitted that that's what that is. You know, it's pretty clear as day. So that's their symbol. You know, I mean, these are Satanists. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just creepy, you know. And again, like when they're putting out satanic symbols, they're doing satanic dances and mock human ritual sacrifices, claiming it's a joke and all this, and then they're saying that, you know, they're capitalizing Big Bang, they're giving a middle finger to God every chance they get. You got to wonder what kind of spiritual force is at work. Like, I mean, that's just me. Like, I am like, you watch my channel, right? A lot of my videos are very straightforward. I don't even really talk about the spiritual that much, but it's an element. It's just so important, and if you don't at least incorporate that a little bit, you're gonna be lost. But yeah, there you go. You know, 666. That's the CERN symbol. That's from you can see that right in the screen. That's from their official website. Just go to CERN.com, whatever it is. What is it? Literally, home.cern. Yeah, Joe Rogan's in the chat, guys. He says Build Back Better. yeah, Build Back Better. BBB. It sort of looks like 666. Yeah. And you know what's really interesting with the Build Back Better? You saw every politician in the whole world using that phrase. Justin Trudeau, Boris Johnson, Joe Biden. You name it, right? I think even the Australian premiers and prime minister said it. New Zealand, that evil witch from New Zealand, the prime minister there. We got to build back better. I'm sorry. I wonder if Greta ever used it. Build back better. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, but I mean, this is one of their phrases they use to. It's just like a mantra they use. It's sort of like a subconscious mind control thing, where it's like, okay, everything that you once knew, all the tradition and culture and the way we used to run society and in your everyday life, that's not going to happen anymore. Now we got to build everything back better. That's all been destroyed. We have to build back better. It's actually, I feel like it's not very catchy. They kind of failed in that regard, but it's definitely alluding to what they want. They do want to build back worse, really, but worse for us, but better for them. So John Doe says, press reset. Here is the link to the ritual. I don't see the link. Let me see. Maybe put it on Twitter. Jeffrey Long says it was actually at 420 the Guidestones got stoned. Yeah, maybe it was at 420. Who knows? I mean, the timeline we're in, it really is kind of crazy. Like, if you would have told me and this is, again, this alludes to the Large Hadron Collider and all this. If you would have told me that in 2008, whatever, when I first woke up to a lot of this stuff, that Trump would be elected president, that they would lock the entire globe down for 2 years straight, shut down everything, that you would eventually have the Georgia Guidestones blow up, and I mean that sounds like at the time it would have been like, no. Maybe I would have believed it because I was so zealous at that time. But it really is like a lot of the, and what's next, guys? What's next? Can we talk about what's next here? Really? What's next in this strange timeline we're in? What's next? Well, look up to the skies. You see the UFO agenda playing out. You see more and more information being released from the Navy, the military, the FBI, Congress, officially investigating this quote-unquote phenomenon. That's what's next. Something alluding to that. Off-world presence, UFOs, stuff like that. That is what's next. This is a very serious topic. And by the way, more and more, it's one of those things that are being discussed by sort of these mainstream secularist types in a very serious way. Me discussing it is actually going along, like, I don't want to say it's going along with the narrative, but it's not taboo. Like, talking about spiritual forces can be taboo now. Like, if you were to show this to one of your family members, they're like, this guy's, he's a little bit out in the clouds here. But if you're talking about, like, the alien thing, like, a lot of people believe that. And that's what's coming next. That's what's coming next in the timeline. Faith Fuego says, I was trying to send you a super chat, but forgot your password. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So, maybe I can find the Gothard Tunnel, June 1st, 2016. Thank you for that. Looks like conspiracy, Illuminati, all these words that are probably going to get me banned on YouTube. Just saying. Here we go. Is this it? I think this is it. All right, we're gonna talk about this, and then we'll call it a day. But I think this is it. I just want to confirm here, and I don't want to play the whole thing because of copyright, but it's very creepy, and we'll sort of just talk about it really quick. Yeah, there was this other weird ceremony. It's 11:11 right now, guys. Look at that. There was this other weird ceremony, by the way, that they did called the Gothard Base Tunnel Opening Ceremony. I remember talking about this a long time ago. I think it was 2015 or 16. And again, I don't really want to play it, but we're going to show clips from it here, where there's a lot of strange, like, look at this. And it's 6 minutes long, so it's like there's a lot of stuff like this. There's a lot of symbolisms in this. Go. And they do this like creepy, like people in underwear dancing. It almost looks like a gay pride parade. You know, this would, well, there's guys and girls, so I guess not. But, and plus, there's no children around in the streets, and there's no dildos, so I guess it's not a gay pride parade. Which, by the way, this year, a lot of people said, it's funny because, I just got to say this. A lot of people said, like a few days ago when the LHC was about to be turned back on and they were theorizing at what could happen, what's really going on here. They were saying, a lot of conspiracy theorists were saying that it's going to open up a portal to hell and the demons are going to come out. And it's like, that already happened. What are you talking about? That has already commenced. I don't think, I think that's already a done deal. Okay. You're living in 2016, man. That when they turned that thing on in 2015, 16, that's probably, I think that's what they did, okay? And that's what we've been experiencing the past, like, 5 years. Because if you look at some of the stuff going on In our culture, it's just evil. And then you have the Saturn squares here, and there's little symbolisms. Look at this creepy stuff. These are supposed to be scientists. Like they have like an angel of death flying around in their little occult ritual for their LHC opening. Look at this. Like, really? Creepy. Look at that. This looks like Michael Myers or like a dead baby. It does look like the face of like a baby with wings, like a dead ghost baby. Homage to abortion, maybe. I don't know. And then you have this portion of it where it's like a bunch of meat mops, a bunch of little meat mops. I don't know what these are, like demonic little creatures. And then look at this. Look, these people dressed up, doing their little rituals. Let's play a little bit of this. Hopefully no copyright will get. What? You got the pagan, like, ram and all this creepy stuff. These are scientists? I thought we were trying to figure out, like, the Higgs boson particle. Why are we dancing around in, like, creepy meat mop, angel of death, ram, creepy... All right. Like, let's just think about, like, what are they doing? This is their ceremony to open up their tunnel for the LHC. I just don't get it. Wait, yeah. Oh, it's creepy. Anyways, so, yeah. Nothing to see here. Totally normal. Yeah. So... Whoops, here we go. Yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about all that. Let me know what you guys think. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I really appreciate everybody coming. I'm gonna leave links for for not everything, but as much as I can in the description below. And man, this is. I mean, let me know what you guys think are gonna happen next. Oh, by the way, I have a super chat, so I want to read this before I let everyone go. This is from Notable Zero. $10. Thank you so much, my friend. This is a great breakdown. I drive during the day, and I struggle to find good content. Yeah, it's tough on YouTube now to find good content. I totally agree. I feel like the internet's broken in many ways. It really is. I mean, even trying to research some of the things I was going to talk about today, it was like I used to be able to just find things so quickly. Now, it's like impossible to find anything. I don't get notified when content creators that I used to follow make videos and put out content. It's very difficult to find new creators and people that break down stuff like this because the censorship. And then the censorship, they've gotten so crazy with it that the algorithms are all broken that you can't even research normal things anymore. The only thing you'll have any luck with, especially Googling, is like, Googling how to get somewhere down the street or something. Like a local business, which I guess that's the only thing Google's useful for at this point. Finding the phone number of like the local bakery, right? Like other than that, it's like you don't really find any real information. It's all the internet's broken. There's people that talk about the dead internet theory, and I think that has a lot of truth to it in many ways. This idea that like the internet is like 90% bots now. Like nobody's even real. like there's probably like at least like 10, 20, 30 viewers right here with the 140 concurrent viewers. There's probably half of them are bots. I don't even know. Because the internet is just so fake now. And it's just it's crazy. It's not the way it used to be. Right around 2016, 17, they kind of clamped down to the point where they not only destroyed, like, I guess, channels like mine and like other people, and the ability for us to really research and find good content, but they destroyed a bunch of other things with it too, like content that has nothing to do with any of this that I'm talking about, and nothing to do with like even our perspective of how we see these events and all this. Like they destroyed a lot of things that went along with it. It's really pretty sad, but you know, you just got to do a little more work. You can still find, you know, good content. Obviously, the best way to do it is just like click the notification bell. You can become a Patreon member too. Like I always try to post everything on there, and you'll get notified no matter what. I think Miss Maskless just left the link in there for the Patreon. Thank you. And you can become a Patreon member. Let me see here. Yeah. So, I'm going to get going, guys, but thank you so much for coming by. Thanks for the super chats, everyone. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk more about this as the week goes on. And I might be having somebody on this weekend. Maybe Will Turbot from Fake Mike Real News. I've been talking to him. He was supposed to come on a couple weeks ago, but he's a little flaky sometimes there, Will, if you're watching. A little flaky sometimes. But, if you haven't checked out my other interviews, too, with Ramsey Paul and Nicole Solis, they're really cool. But just trying to have more people on. Yeah, I asked Really Graceful, but she's super busy with you know, she just had a child over the past year, and, you know, she doesn't have, like, availability during, like, the nights to do an interview live. So, but, yeah, we're going to get some people on. We're going to do some more breakdowns here moving forward, and yeah, if you don't get, a lot of people don't get notified when I put out videos. So just click the notification bell or check the channel, become a Patreon member. That's a good way to do it. But again, like, share, subscribe. Thanks so much again for everyone who sent a super chat. Really, really grateful. And just share the video, share the content, and drop a comment below if you haven't. As always, it's been Press. Keep your head up, stay real, and no fear.